This is the book of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 11. I'm coming soon. Keep safe what you have so that no one will rob you of your victory prize. I like to give all praises and glory and honor to Almighty Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. I like to give all praises and honor and glory to Almighty Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the men of GMS who rule well. Peace and salutation to the hopeful elect. This is Brother Boaz on the set once again. Don't let no one take your victory crown, okay? This thing is going down. Don't let no one take your victory crown in your prize, okay? You have to win the victory. We almost here, okay? Once again, this country's ready for the mark of the beast. This devil's going to try to chip the world, okay? He knows that his days are numbered. This devil's goose is cooked, okay? With, like Tahar said, we have months left. We don't have much more time left, okay? They're going to pull the prophets off these street corners. They're going to shut this internet down, okay? This word is getting out, and this is a time where you have to hold fast, keep your integrity, and call upon the names of Yahweh Yahweh Shai so you can make it out with your life when this thing goes down. That's what this is all about, okay? So, let's get into it today. The book of Revelations, chapter 2, verse 26. To those who win the victory, who continue to the end to do what I want, I will give the same authority that I received from my Father. I will give them authority over the nations to rule them with an iron rod and to break them into pieces like clots of clay. I will give them the morning star. Okay, so Yahweh, we're going to be ruling these nations with an iron rod, okay, with rigor, okay. We're going to be ruling these nations, okay. We're going to be bashing the so-called white man over his head, hanging a white man, putting them in this hardcore slavery, and destroying them. Okay, we're gonna be destroying these nations. Okay, we're not gonna have no mercy on these nations. Okay, for 1,000 years, for 1,000 years, we're gonna be ruling these nations with an iron rod. Okay, that's what this is all about, okay? Then the so-called white man, after his 1,000 years is up, he's going to get eradicated, okay? Let's go to the book of Leviticus. The book of Leviticus. Let's see if we can find it. We're going to be ruling these nations with rigor. Okay? Don't let no one take your crown, okay? You keep your posture and keep calling upon the names of Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, okay? That's what this is about. I will rule them with rigor, book of Leviticus. The book of Leviticus, chapter 25, verse 23. Do not treat them harshly, but obey your power. If you need slaves, you will buy them from the nations around you. You may also buy the children of the foreigner who are living among you. Such children born in your land may become your property, and you may leave them as an inheritance to your children, but you must serve, but they must serve as long as they live. But you must not treat any Israelite harshly, okay? We're going to be ruling these nations with an iron rod, okay? Bashing a so called white man over the head, using his Becky as a bed wrench, okay? Using his daughters as a bed wrench. This thing is only for the Israelites, okay? The kingdom of heaven is only for the Israelites, okay? That's what this is about, okay? It's only for the Israelites. This kingdom of heaven that's coming is for the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. Let's turn to the book of Isaiah, chapter 14. The book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 1. Yahweh will once again be merciful to his people, Israel, and choose them as his own. He will let them live in their own land again, and foreigners will come and live with, with them. Many nations will help the people of Israel return to the land which Yahweh gave them, and the nations will serve Israel as slaves, okay? They're going to serve Israel as slaves, okay? They're going to be in slavery, okay? You don't want, could you imagine this, okay? There's no more waking up to a 9 to 5, okay? No more last hired, first fired, okay? No more sicknesses catching straight hell. This is what's coming to the Israelites, okay? This is what's coming, okay? But you have to keep your posture and you have to keep your integrity in this thing, okay? This thing is about having patience and having posture and Yahweh Shai. That's what this thing is about. Those who once captured Israel will now be captured by Israel, and the people of Israel will rule over those who once possessed them, okay? The people of Israel will rule over the ones who once oppressed them, okay? That, that's a so-called white man. All the other nations, they're going to get put straight into slavery. The book of Isaiah, chapter 49, verse 23. Kings will be like your fathers to you, queens will be like mothers. They will bow down before you and honor you. They will humbly show their respect to you. Then you will know that I, Yahweh, no one who waits for my help will be disappointed. Can you take away a soldier's loot? Can you rescue the prisoner of a tyrant? Okay, yes, Yahweh Shai is going to rescue us from this captivity. Okay, we're still in this slavery today. Okay, this day we're still in the captivity. Okay, it's not. We haven't been released yet. What you saw, what you say, you under salvation, you gotta work a 9 to 5 and you barely paying your bills, okay? You one check away from being homeless, okay? What are you saying that you delivered, okay? Don't let no one take your crown. The book of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 5. Those who win the victory will be clothed like this white, and I will not remove their names from the book of the living. In the presence of my Father and of his angels, I will declare openly that they belong to me, okay? So this is about putting on as the elect, okay, of Yahweh Shai. That's what this is all about. This America is going to be destroyed. And if you want to come out of this thing while you still can, you better run to Yahweh Shai while you still can. The book of Revelation, chapter 14, verse 12. This calls for endurance of the part of Yahweh's people, those who obey Yahweh's commandments and are faithful to Yahweh Shai, okay? You have to be faithful to Yahweh Shai, okay? And if you ashamed of Yahweh Shai on that day, he will be ashamed of you, okay? If you ashamed of Yahweh Shai, he will be ashamed of you on that day. The book of Matthews. Okay, one moment. Turn to the book of Matthews. The book of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 32. Those who declare publicly that they belong to me, I will do the same for them before my Father in heaven. But those who reject me publicly, I will reject before my Father in heaven. Okay, so if you reject Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Shai is going to reject you in front of his Father. Okay, he's the one that's on the right hand side pleading for us, okay, pleading on our behalf, okay. He's on the right hand side of Yahweh pleading for us, okay. Come back to Yahweh Shai now, okay. This is what this is about, okay. Don't wait and keep putting off from day to day. Then suddenly destruction will come upon you, okay. Let's turn to the book of Proverbs. The book of Proverbs, chapter 2, verse 21. Righteous people of integrity will live in this land of ours. Okay, so you have to, once again, you have to keep your integrity and keep calling upon the names of Yahweh Shai, okay, until you get your victory crown, okay, until you get yourself a crown by Yahweh Shai. The book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 25. You will have to, you will not have to worry about sudden disaster such as comes on the wicked like a storm. Yahweh will keep you safe. He will not let you fall into a trap. Okay, so Yahweh Shai will keep us safe. You when these tribulations and when these calamities come, He's going to keep you safe from them, okay? 1,000 will fall at your right hand. Okay, 1,000 will fall at your right hand, but it will not get to you. Okay, but you have to come back to Yahweh Yahushai while you still can, while the doors of mercy are still open. Okay, these nations are going to get put straight into slavery. Okay, that's their future. Okay, that's why it says those that are looking through the windows was darkened. Okay, that's their future. Okay, slavery. Okay, underneath the Israelites. Okay, this kingdom of heaven is only for a few. Okay, the kingdom of heaven is only for a few. Second Ezra chapter 8 verse 1. And he answered me, saying, the Most High have made this world for many, but the world to come is for a few. Okay, it starts with the elect. Okay, the elect that are going to be the ones to make it out with their life. Okay, when this thing goes down. Okay, but it's only because of Yahweh Shai is working with them. Okay, it's through the spirit of Yahweh Shai that they're going to make it out with their life. It's only going to be a few selected people to make it out with their life when this thing goes down. It's not going to be a lot of people, okay? And if you want to be of the one, those so selected, it starts now, okay? It starts now. You have to come back to who you are, your nationality, and come back into calling upon the names of Yahweh and stop calling on God by these pagan names and come back to Yahweh while you still can, okay? That's what this thing is about. The book of Second Ezra, chapter 8, verse 3. There be many created, but few shall be saved, okay? It's only going to be a few saved, okay? It's only going to be a few saved. Okay? Okay, so one moment. Bear with me. The book of Ezekiel. The book of Ezekiel, chapter 32, verse 5. I will cover mountains and valleys with your rotting corpse. I will pour out your blood uh, until it spreads over the mountains and fill the streams. When I destroy you, I will cover the sky and blot out the stars. The sun will hide behind the clouds, and the moon will not give no light. I will put all of the lights out of heaven and plunge your world into darkness. I, the sovereign Yahweh, have spoken. Many nations will be troubled when I spread the news of your destruction through the countries you will never heard of. What I do to you will shock many nations. When I swing my sword, kings will shudder with fright on the day you fall. All of them will tremble in fear for their own lives. Okay, so all of them going to tremble in fear. What is that talking about? When this so-called white man falls out of rulership and power, many nations who are going to tremble with fear, okay, at Yahweh Yahushua. They're going to say, oh my God, the so-called white man's not in power no more. Okay, they're going to be shivering with fear, okay. That's what this is about. They're going to urinate on themselves, okay, when this thing goes down, okay, when this is. So, and if you don't, you heard me say this again, if you don't want to get caught in a riffraff, you better come to Yahweh right away, okay. Let's turn to the book of Job. The book of Job, chapter 18, verse 5. The light of the wicked will still be put out. Its flames will never burn again. The lamps of their tents will be darkened. Their steps will firm, but they will stumble. They will fall victim of their own devices. Okay, when a so-called white man goes for this new world order, it's gonna be he's gonna fall on his own device. Okay, his own wicked plans. They they walk into a net and their feet are caught. A trap catches their heels and holds them. On the ground, a snare is hidden. A trap has been set in their path. Okay, the new world order. All around them, terror is waiting. It follows them at every step. They used to be rich, but now they go hungry. Disaster stands and waits at their sides. A deadly disease spreads over their bodies and causes their arms and legs to rot. They are torn from the tent where they lived, security, and dragged off to the king of death. Okay, they're dragged off to Yahweh Yahushai. Okay, and no one punishes like Yahweh Yahushai. Look what Yahushai did to us as a people. Okay, he destroyed us. Okay, we're still catching straight hell on this day. Okay, we're still catching straight hell. Okay, we're still not out the woods, okay? Although our punishment is up, okay, but we're still catching straight hell due to the curses of Deuteronomy 28. Now anyone may live in their tent. Now anyone may live in their tents after sulfur sprinkles and disaffect them. This white man's going to get eradicated. Okay, their root and branches are withered and dried. Their fame is ended at their homes abroad. No one remembers them anymore. You're going to wake up in the kingdom and say, what happened to the white man? That's how destroyed they're going to be. You're going to wake up in the kingdom of heaven and say, what happened to the so-called white man? That will be driven out of the land of the living, driven from light into darkness. They have no descendants nor survivors from the east to the west. All who hear of their fate will shudder and tremble with fear. That is the fate of the evil people, the fate of those who care nothing for Yahweh, okay? They gonna catch straight hell, okay? Okay, they're gonna catch straight hell, okay? And you don't want no one to take your crown that you worked for, okay? Let's turn to the book of Timothy, 2 Timothy's. Second Timothy's 4 verse 6. As for me, The hour has come for me to be sacrificed. The time is here for me to leave this life. I have done my best in the race. I have run the full distance. I have kept the faith. And now there is waiting for me a victory prize of being put right with Yahweh, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will give me on that day. And not only to me, but to all those who wait with love for him to appear. Okay? All those who wait for him, love for him when he appears. Okay? So you have to wait for Yahweh. Okay? You have to wait on his divine name, okay? Wait on his divine presence, okay? But who could abide the day of his coming? Okay? Who could abide the day of his coming? The book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 1. Let's turn to the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 1. Yahweh Almighty answered, I will send my messenger to prepare the way for me. Then Yahweh you are looking for will suddenly come to his temple. The messengers you long for will see and come and proclaim my covenant. But who will be able to endure the day of his come when he comes? Who will be able to survive when he appears? He will be like a strong soap, like a fire that refines metal. Okay, when Yahweh gets here, it's gonna be an extreme, a lot of death and destruction and calamity. It's not gonna. It's gonna be a day of darkness. If you are of the elect, it's gonna be righteous for you. But if you not, which the majority of people not the 90% of the people not, it's gonna be destruction. Okay. 2/3 will get eradicated. They're going to get exterminated. Okay, you're only going to have the 1/3 to make it out with their life. Okay, and that's like the Bible compares it like the grains of the sand. Okay, of the seashore. Okay, that's not a lot of people. Okay, this thing is about you changing your life, coming back into who you are while there's still a chance. Okay, that's what this thing is all about. Okay, the book of Romans. Let's turn to the book of Romans. The book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 27. And Isaiah exclaimed about Israel, even if the people of Israel are as many as the grains of sand by the sea, yet only a few of them will be saved. Yet for Yahweh will quickly settle this account for the world. It is, as Isaiah has said before, if Yahweh Almighty had not left us some descendants, we would have been like Sodom. We would have been like Gomorrah. Okay, so if Yahweh hadn't left us some descendants, we would have been like Sodom. Okay, and Gomorrah, completely annihilated. Okay, the book of Romans, chapter 12, verse 2. Do not conform yourself to the standards of this world, but let Yahweh transform you inwardly by the complete changing of your mind. Then you will be able to know the will of Yahweh, what is good and is pleasing to Him, and perfectly. And because Yahweh's grace is gift to me, I say to every one of you, don't think of yourself more highly than you should. Instead of be modest in your thinking and judge yourself according to the amount of faith that Yahweh has given you, okay? Faith is a gift, okay? You have to have faith. If you don't have faith, you heard me say this once again, you won't make it out with your life when this thing goes down, okay? Point blank, you won't make it out with your life when this thing goes down. You have to have the faith, okay? You have to have the posture and you have to have the faith. If you want to make it out with your life when this thing goes down, you have to have faith and you have to call upon Yahweh by his proper name, okay? His name is Yahweh. That's a supreme God. And his son's name is Yahweh. That's his son. That's his only begotten son, okay? Those names, if you don't call upon those names, you heard me say this before, you won't make it out with your life when this thing goes down, okay? You're going to be destroyed, caught up in this destruction when he gets here, okay? When the angels come and start eradicating these people and destroying America and the nuclear weapons that's going to annihilate this place, okay? Once again, the Bible calls it the day of the Lord, okay? The day of Yahweh. Okay, one moment. Let's turn to the book of First Corinthians chapter 9 verse 24. Surely you know that many runners take part in the race, but only one of them wins the prize. Run then in such a way to win the prize. Every athlete is trained, submits to strict discipline in order to be crowned with a weave that will not last, but we do it for one that will last forever. This is why I run straight for the finish line. This is why I am like a boxer who does not waste his punches. I harden my body with blows and bring it to under complete control to keep myself from being disqualified after having called others to the contest, okay? He does he doesn't waste his time punching, okay? Waste his punches, okay? This is a race. You have to make it to the finishing line, okay? And those that hold out to the end will be saved. Okay, those that hold out until the end will be saved. Okay, we almost at the end. Okay, this devil's ready for the microchip. Okay, he's going to do another 9/11. Okay, after another 9/11, he's going to implement his RFID chip. Okay, and if you take the chip, forgive my language, that is your ass. You will be eradicated. Okay, you don't think nothing more, nothing less. Okay, if you take this man's demonic device, you will be eradicated. Okay, no ifs, ands, or buts. Okay, that's why you should be building your faith up as we speak. Okay, getting closer to Yahweh Shai. Let's get it. The book of 2 Peter, chapter 1, verse 5. For this very reason, do your best to add goodness to your faith, to your God, and to your goodness add knowledge, to your knowledge add self-control, to self-control as endurance, and to your endurance add godliness, to your godliness add Christian affection, and to your Christian affection add love. These are the qualities you need, and if you have them in abundance, they will make you active and effective in your knowledge for our Lord Yahweh Shai Mashiach. Okay, so you have to have these qualities and these attributes if you want to make it out of here with your life when it on the day of the Lord when this goes down. Okay, let's turn to the book of Psalms. The book of Psalms, chapter 24, verse 3. Who has the right to go up Yahweh's hill? Who may enter to his holy temple? Those who are pure in act and in thought, those who do not worship idols or make false promises. Yahweh will bless them and save them. Yahweh declares them innocent. Okay, you have to be declared innocent in the sight of Yahweh Shai. Okay, that's what this is all about. Okay, you have to build your faith up because you have to build your foundation on Yahweh Shai Mashiach. Okay, which the world ignorantly calls Christ. Okay, you have to build your foundation on Christ. Okay, that's what this is. That's the process that you have to endure and go through. Okay, and you have to have the patience and wait upon Yahweh Shai. Okay, that's what you have to have. You have to have the patience. Zephaniah. Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 1. Just wait, Yahweh says. Wait for the day when I rise up and accuse the nations. I have made up my mind to gather nations and kingdoms in order to let them feel my force of anger. The whole earth will be destroyed by the fire of my fury. Okay, so when the nations gather, when you see the nations gather in the land of Jehoshaphat, which is the Middle East, okay, they're going to get eradicated there. Okay, they're going to get destroyed there. Okay, they won't make it out with their life. Okay, World War III. Okay, when America, it seemed like they're going to do a draft. Okay, when they do a draft, a lot of people are going to get killed in that World War III. Okay, because it will go thermonuclear. Okay, that's why America does not want Iran to have a nuclear weapon because they will drop a nuclear weapon on America. Okay, they'll drop missiles on America. Okay, they're catching hell with Iran right now. Okay, don't let America fool you. Okay, this man messed up. Okay, he's going to get eradicated. Okay, this is the eve when a so-called white man goes down. Okay, he's not going to make it out with his life when this thing goes down. Okay, and the last bit of them, they're going to be slaves. Let's get it. Let's get the book of Amos, chapter 9, verse 11. Yahweh says, a day is coming when I will restore the kingdom of David, which is like a which house fallen into ruins. I will repair its walls and restore it. I will rebuild it and make it as it was long ago. And so people of Israel will conquer what is left of the land of Edom. Okay, that's these so called white people, and all the nations that were once mine, says Yahweh, whose will causes this to happen. Okay, this is Yahweh's just driving this event that's going to cause. He's the one that's causing this to happen. Okay, he's the one. Okay, so the remnant of Edom, they're going to be the only ones. They're going to be the first to go into straight slavery. Okay, and they're going to serve out this a year, 1,000 years, and get eradicated. Okay, this thing is going down. Yahushua is a harsh man. Okay, that's why it says, "Those that did not let me reign over them, bring them hither, so they could be slain before me." Okay, so that's what this is. Okay, that's what this is all about here. Okay, Eh, making it out of here with your life when this thing goes down. Okay, making it out of here with your life when this thing goes down. Zephaniah. Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1. Shameless nation, come to your senses before you are driven away like shaft blown by the wind, totally annihilated, before the burning anger of Yahweh comes upon you, before the day when he shows his fury. Turn to Yahweh, all you humble people of the land who obey his commands. Do what is right and humble yourselves before Yahweh. Perhaps you will escape punishment on the day when Yahweh shows his anger. Okay, so you might have a chance of making it out of here with your life. That's what the Bible's saying. You might have a chance. Okay, you might have a chance of making it out your life, but you have to fix your mind on Yahweh Shai. Okay, put the kingdom of heaven is first. Okay, first and foremost. Let's go to it. The book of Matthews. The book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 33. Instead, be concerned about above everything else with the kingdom of Yahweh and with what he requires of you, and he will provide you with all these other things. Okay, so be concerned about the kingdom of Yahweh Shai. Okay, that's what you need to be concerned with. Okay, be concerned about Yahweh Shai's kingdom. Okay, 40 more days and Nineveh is going to be destroyed. Okay, America is going to will not make it out of World War III. Okay, they're going to get eradicated. Okay, they're not going to make it. Okay, America's not going to make it. Okay, they're going to get eradicated. The book of Hebrews. The book of Hebrews, chapter 12, verse 1. As for us, we have this large crowd of witnesses around us. So then let us rid ourselves from everything that gets in the way and of our sins which hold so to us so tightly, and let us run with determination the race that lies before us. Let us keep our eyes fixed on Yahweh, on whom our faith depends from beginning to the end. He did not give up because of the cross. On the contrary, because of the joy that he was waiting for him, he through He thought nothing of the disgrace of dying on the cross, and he is now seated at the right side of Yahweh's throne. Okay, so he is sitting at the right side of Yahweh's throne, waiting for the order to come down. Okay, okay, and when he gets here, is all bets are off. Okay, he's going to be eradicate these people. Okay, and destroy them. Okay, all the godliness or the godless. The book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 1. This is a record of the events that Yahweh Shah Mashiach revealed. Yahweh gave his this revelation in order to show to his servants what must happen very soon. Mashiach made this thing known to his servants, John, by sending his angel to him, okay? This thing is going to happen soon. This thing is going to happen soon, okay? Revelation chapter 1, verse 7. He is coming on the clouds, UFOs, flying saucers, okay? And the government, they had to come out with it. They can't keep it secret no more, okay? I believe these UFOs are blowing these airliners out of the sky. They're just not saying nothing, okay? Everyone will see him, including those who pierce him. All people of the earth will mourn over him. So shall it be, okay? Now let me ask you a question, okay? Why are they going to mourn? Okay, why are they not singing Kumbaya in the kingdom? Okay, and playing dominoes in the kingdom? Why are all nations are going to mourn? Why? Because they're going to get eradicated and put straight into slavery, okay? They're going into slavery. That's why they're going to get put straight into slavery. The book of Psalms, chapter 2, verse 1. Why do the nations rebel? Why do the people make their useless plots? I'll say, why are they rebelling? Okay, because once again they're going to get put into slavery, okay, and eradicated. And they're going to be getting their heads bashed in, okay, and their women, and they're going to have to be giving up their daughters to us, okay. The best of their daughters have to come over to us, okay, as concubines. Their kings will revolt, their rulers plot together against Yahweh and against the king he hath chosen. Who is a king that Yahweh chosen? Yahweh Shai. Okay, he is a king that he has chosen, okay. That's why they're going to mourn when he gets here, okay? Because they know all the games come to an end, okay? And the 2/3 that clings unto this so-called white man, to this devil, they're going to get eradicated. The kings that basically cling to this devil and don't want to give this white man up, they're going to get destroyed too, okay? It's not going to be no more mess in the kingdom, okay? And if we go off in the kingdom, I got to smile, okay? If we go off in the kingdom, we're going to get put to death too, okay? But Yahweh Shah is going to write our spirits, the laws in our inward parts, okay? That's why it says, if someone born talking another religion, talking some Islam, his mother and father are going to thrust him through, okay? They're going to put him straight to death, okay? They're going to get pushed straight to death, okay? If you don't serve, you have to serve Yahweh, Yahweh Shai with one consent, okay? That's it, okay? You have to serve Yahweh, Yahweh Shai with one consent. If you don't serve Yahweh Shah with one consent, you're gonna get put straight to death. Okay, you're not gonna make it. Okay, with your life. Okay, you have to get reincarnated again. Their kings revolt, their rulers plot against Yahweh and against his chosen king. Let us free ourselves from their rule, they say. Let us throw off their control, okay? From his throne, Yahweh in heaven laughs at them. You got a big, dark, demonic laugh. Ho, 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 oh. How are you going to mess with something like that, okay? Yahweh laughs in heaven, okay? Yahweh laughs in heaven at these devils, okay? Their day is coming, okay? Their day is coming, okay? The day of what's rushing upon them is coming. Yahweh from his throne in heaven, Yahweh laughs and mocks their feeble plans. Then he warns them in anger and terrifies them with his fury. Okay, so he warns them in anger and terrifies it in his fury. That's when the angels come down and start destroying this place and eradicating this place. Okay, that's why the scripture says men's hearts fell in them for fear. Okay, that was coming out of this scripture says it was coming out of space. Men's hearts fell in them for fear. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32, verse 34. Yahweh remembers what their enemies have done. He waits for the right time to punish them. Yahweh will take revenge and punish them. The time will come when they will fall. The day of their doom is near. Okay, so the so-called white man's day is near. Okay, he's on his last web. Okay, when a white man, when you see this devil, which he's already going into the trap, when you see this devil go to the Middle East, that's this white man's ass. Okay, that's when you know he's going to get eradicated. Okay, when the valley of Shapado, the valley of judgment, that's where Yahweh's going to meet this devil at, okay, and eradicate him, okay, in his armies, in his military. He's going to get straight eradicated, okay. He won't come out this thing alive, okay. That's what this thing's about. He's not going to come out this thing alive, okay. When you see this devil and this military go into Iran, okay, which that's a trap, okay. He's going to get eradicated, and and you see this devil, he's taking a bait, okay. He's taking a bait, okay. The so-called white man's going down, okay. Don't let this man fool you, okay, and thinking that he's going to make it out of this thing with his life. He's not going to make it out with his life, okay. That's why the only thing left is for you to get right and to get a renewed mind. Okay, like Yahweh Shai said, be born again. Let's turn to the book of Colossians. Then we'll turn to the book of Ephesians. The book of Colossians, chapter 3, verse 10. You have put on a new self. This is the new being which Yahweh, Creator, is constantly renewing in His own image in order to bring you a full knowledge of himself. Colossians chapter 3, verse 1. You have been raised to life with Mashiach. So set your heart on things that are in heaven, where Mashiach sits on his throne at the right side of Yahweh. Keep your mind fixed on things there, not on things of the earth. So you should be keeping your mind fixed on Yahweh, Yahushai, okay? Keeping your mind fixed on Yahweh, Yahushai. The book of Ephesians, chapter 4, verse 22. Get rid of your old self, which made you live as you used to. The old self that was being destroyed by its deceitful desires. Your hearts and mind must be made completely new. And you must put on the new self, which is created in Yahweh's image, likeness, and revealed itself in the true life that is upright and holy, okay? So you have to this is a time to clean up your life. Yahweh Shai is giving you a chance to clean up your life and to come clean while you still can, okay? And hopefully this study was edifying to you. I like to give all praises and honor and glory to Almighty Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, Shalom.